Welcome, everyone. This is Full Disclosure Live. It's an interview series that we started here at DebtBook really to highlight some of the individuals that we've met along the way that work in public finance. My name is Stephen Yoakum. I work here on the product team at DebtBook. I'm here joined my coworker, James Perez.
Thanks, Stephen. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Full Disclosure, and I have the privilege of introducing our guest today. I'd like to welcome Ana Machado to the show. She's the finance director for Vista Public Schools in sunny San Diego, California. Vista is comprised of 27 different institutions serving around 18,000 students. A school district of this size has complexity, opportunities, and we're really excited to dig into those today. Ana, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for welcoming me. Yes, I'm very excited to talk to our participants about your product and the impact it has made to positive impact it has made to Vista Unified.
Awesome. Great. Love to hear it. So before we dive into maybe how you leverage DebtBook, we really like to understand you made the school district, the coverage you have, anything noteworthy from your perspective, really give our viewers an understanding of kind of the impact your school system has in the area.
Absolutely. So we are part of the North County of the San Diego County, and together with other districts around us, we serve a good amount of students that live in the cities that kind of enmesh one into the other. Vista Unified serves, like you're saying, about 8,000 students currently. We have 27 campuses and then our district offices. And we are a public school district. We serve transitional kindergarten all the way through actually adult schools. We have one continuation school for special education students. And we also have our adult school that serves the community at large.
That's
and
awesome.
I started in Vista in 2007 as part of the fiscal services team. And this is really interesting because I really came to enjoy Vista Unified. I then went to different districts to further my career. I came back to Vista again around 2015 as an accountant. And since 2023, I have the honor of serving as the director of the fiscal services department, including payroll and purchasing. So this is an honor, and I get so much reward from just watching the students graduate, seeing the positive impacts that we are making with the teams and the community.
That's awesome. And I love third stint at Vista, but it almost stole your heart the first time that you went there, right? And then you might have gone to some other locations and came back. So for individuals who will listen to this over time that are on today, a finance director of a school district, what does maybe a day in the life look like? What are some high level activities you're doing, maybe reports you're reviewing? Just talk to me about Ana's job and what it entails.
Okay, absolutely. So we oversee payroll. We oversee all the budgeting, the finance, so all the journal entries, accounts payable, accounts receivable. We have bonds, general obligation bonds and certificates of participation that has to do with the facilities. We also oversee purchasing and all procurement for the school district. It's definitely a broad spectrum. However, a day in the life has to include laughter. It has to include coffee. I'm a big coffee person, and I'm also a dog person. So people prefer cats, people that have different animals.
Okay.
But
That's
anyway,
important to know.
because mental health is also important. So coffee and my dogs and my family definitely in the mix. So today, for example, we have board meeting tonight. We are going to present some agenda items that pertain to my department. So definitely we are going over that. We are helping people with their paychecks to understand their paychecks. We do training, internal training. We also try to engage with partners such as DebtBook, for example, to engage in expanding their professional development and people's knowledge of the tasks that they do. Since I've So, side note, I am originally from Brazil. I arrived in America early 2000s, and I've been working in public schools since 2007. But since then, a lot has changed. The way that we do things. Thankfully, we have a lot of technology that has positively impacted how we do our things. And I put that book in that category because it definitely has assisted us in changing the way that we produce some certain results. We absolutely we have federal reporting deadlines. We have quarterly reporting deadlines with the state. We have other deadlines depending on the program, meaning what kind of revenue you are getting, what if the program has an impact on certain students. We have also internal reporting that we do for not only our department, but also for our board of trustees and for the district at large. It's interesting, it's dynamic, and
Yeah.
it really feels rewarding.
Yeah, I'd love for you to highlight your team as well. You talked about the scope of the role. It sounds pretty massive. 27 schools. You said 18,000 students, and you mentioned a couple of different activities your team does. What is your team size? How is it structured? And really, when you talk about the professional development, what does that mean for you and your teammates?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for the question. I love the team that we have. Our department, so the fiscal services comprises accounting, budgeting, accounts payables and receivable, and payroll. Our team is, right now we have a couple of vacancies, but it's encompassed 27 positions under me, and they are segmented so that while we have this broad spectrum of things that we do, that everything gets covered in every single one of our clients, which could be the school sites, it could be our employees, it could be our students. They feel supported and they feel that they can trust. Trust is a big theme, very important to finance, and transparency and trust building is definitely our ultimate goal. I do work with a director for the purchasing. I have a payroll supervisor and a fiscal manager that assists with getting everything in order and helping maintain the cause.
So as you think about having that staff, how then do you think about software to assist the staff? So DebtBook is one of the many applications I'm sure your team uses, but how do you as the leader of this organization think about, I have a staff, but I also need to empower them with software that's going to assist their day. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Empowering is definitely the key because if they don't buy into it or they don't feel that it's helping, it just doesn't happen. We can, in this day and age, we need to be efficient. We do have a lot of reporting. We do have a lot of transactions and events that happen on a daily basis. So when it comes to software, it's not taken lightly. So decisions take a while to be made, but they are also, my approach is that we need to look from almost every angle and really realize, okay, how is this going to benefit us? Are we able to get this within what we do and actually obtain results from that? We do have limitations. As a governmental entity, we are definitely scrutinized, not only by the community, but also we have auditors, we have the state and federal governments, and that's okay. That is part of being a part of this huge entity that we call our country. But also, the intent of acquiring certain technology is really to produce results that can then be transferred into our system. So we have systems of records, and normally that can be individualized by district, but in our situation, we are a subsidiary of our county office of education when it comes to our main system of records. Aside from that, we have the systems, the subsidiary systems that really help us build our numbers. And DebtBook is part of that family.
Yeah, I'd love for you to maybe through your stints there at the school, talk a little bit about maybe how software was used historically and the shifts you see in software usage today. I know when we talk to a lot of customers, the industry is built largely with Excel and ERP systems, and really that's shifting a lot. I'd love for you to talk about the phases you've seen at the school throughout your stints there.
Yeah, for sure. If I may, quick side note, when I was working in Brazil, I used to work for one of the largest audit firms internationally. I was part of one of the big fours, and I was actually, I believe, one of the first persons to have a computer
Oh, wow. That's
in the
awesome.
company. And I do remember, not Excel yet, Lotus 1 through 3. I'm dating myself, I know, but also it gives a perspective of how things change. And I think that's important because yes, Stephen, you are correct. Excel is a big, huge part of what we do. And I'm not going to say that we are letting Excel go anytime soon. I think if I say that, I do run the risk of getting my team very upset. We don't want that. But the thing is that Excel, what you don't know, you don't know. And the difference when we get a subsidiary technology software that has the capability of producing a result that is sought after, it's a lot more efficient. Because the difference with using Excel, each one of us, I can speak for my team, has a different way of approaching a calculation. While I can use a pivot table, somebody else might be doing a subtotal or using other different formulas to get to the same result. I prefer, especially when something is of a complicated concept or requires a little more depth in understanding, then softwares like DebtBook play a fundamental role and significantly enhances the results.
That's yeah. A lot of times we talk to customers, right? Like our system, you talked about reliability, chief important to us, but then we're creating like a resilient system of record for the future. So a central location, all the users across Vista can go into, view a lease schedule, see a debt issue maturity table. So I love the way you frame that. Stephen, anything else you want to dig into on that front? I have an alternate question, but
go for it.
Awesome. Cool. Anna, so as you think about like headwinds that school districts have right now, there's also tailwinds, right? So there's maybe just like the challenges of working at a school district, and particularly for you as the finance director. So for anyone on the call now or who will listen to it, they could be a finance director at a school district. They could also be a finance director at a local government. What are some of the challenges that, are facing the school district currently and potentially like your office? And, just like it would be great to dig into those, maybe just have a conversation around it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that that's one of the things that I like also about the program is how diverse the clients are, that it can extend to different needs. Currently, our main goal here at our department currently is really professional development, which I think is a constant, but also solidifying the team around knowledge and how we proceed, because the changes that we get from, so like funding is always a constant on our radar. We don't know what the funding is going to be like. We do have to adopt our budget. So here in California, the way that we adopt our budgets as school district is before the state adopts their budget for the same year. So that creates a little bit of a gap. We have information, but not all the information. And so it is always, there is a certain portion of uncertainty that we don't know what it's going to be like. So the more that you can control certain factors that are known, and at that point, equalization in terms of how the staff understands the concept, it's very valuable.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned to us as we kind of met before this that you all at times will dig into the support center at DebtBook, the learning materials in DebtBook University, which is great. We take that content very seriously, so we love to hear that it's benefited your staff.
Yes, absolutely. So when I arrived back in Vista in 2023, I believe I got knowledge about DebtBook early on. We contacted originally, I want to say around March of 2023. And all right, do we want to engage? Let's take a look. So it took us about 3 months to make a decision, understand the system, what are the benefits, what do we need it for? And for us personally, we use DebtBook currently to do the leases. So it's called Governmental Accounting Standard Board. So we call it GASB for short, but there is a requirement number 87 that deals with leases. That is a little bit complicated. Also GASB 96 that deals with kind of like the same concept, but it's for subscription. So anything online, DebtBook. Does that book qualify? Right? But also, and we now also use that book for what its name says, that, right? So we also to make sure that we control, and it's so easy to look at our debt from that perspective. Once it was in that book, it's one screen, take a look, and we have enough information to report for the requirements that we have. So that is fantastic. In that process, I've had a couple of different people with me learning that book and also implementing, trying to understand. And we can talk about implementation in a little bit, because I think that is also a key role that book plays that I want to definitely touch on. But the fact that you guys have the university, and I am not kidding, I was in there today and I noticed that even the basic courses get updated constantly.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait a minute, but if I want to, if I want to get somebody else in that book, what do I show them? And I was surprised to see that just 2 days ago, it was updated, the course. So thank you for that. I think your support team is fantastic. Now, going back to implementation, that is key. Our district particularly had not engaged yet in implementing GASB 87. So that means that as a new director, I would have to go over several contracts. So I want to say hundreds of contracts to see if they would qualify or not. With that book, we did go with the option of the white glove, and I don't know if this is an outdated concept, but that's what it was called at the time. Oh, fantastic. Just making sure. But it really helped the fact that we could upload the contracts, and then that book your support team will help guide us. Okay, this one might not qualify, this one might qualify. Yes, this one. Now, the whole process is seamless. We do need to upload our basic accountings, because most governmental entities have long account screens that each of those units represents something that is actually important. So we do need to upload portions of those so that we can get the journal entry spelled directly, and the reports. It's a lot clearer, more clear to read if you have all your accounts in the system, and it makes a difference. We've been using that book then since 2023, and
I love all the great feedback. I think that if you could transpose for a minute, we talked about the shift in technology from Excel, and really when you evaluate a software system, you're really looking for your desired outcome for that system. I'd love for you to talk about maybe why selecting DebtBook. You talked about some of the benefit, but what was the real outcome you were trying to drive for the organization, and why not simply use Excel within some of these processes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I was introduced to that book, I realized that it had the potential to cover our weaknesses at the time. So
Hmm.
at the time when it was mandated to us to implement GASB 87, again, requirement from Governmental Standards Board to bring GASB 87 and 96 into our district, I had two options. I could myself go through, and at the time, I don't believe my team knew enough of what those GASB required to help me implement. So at the time, I had the option of, yes, we could use Excel. It would be the difference is if I am counting something using coins or beans or using a system.
Yeah.
That was the difference. And also I had a partner that could
Hmm.
go over contracts. Why are you saying that this one should apply to GASB 87? If it's an annual contract and GASB clearly says that it needs to be a long term, well, but the intention is that it moves. And by the way, on that note, that book also offers webinars such as this one that I'm honored to be a part of that um, brings things that are, on the forefront or just happening in legislation, and you are able to present it in a manner that it's very knowledgeable and translates into the language that we can apply on a daily basis. So I really appreciate, I think our partnership has been definitely great for us here, and I hope that we have maintained. We are good clients, I hope.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll speak. I think like Steve and I being both on the product team, we have like a great opportunity to talk to customers every week. And I think what we value so much about our customers is the feedback they're able to give us. Um, and so for anyone on the call, even who listens to this, like we thrive off that at DebtBook, and so many of the updates that you continue to see in the application are because of the feedback our customers have given us. So earlier in 2025, when we launched the ability to drop a leaser subscription into the application, we'll read that with AI and we'll actually produce a document. We'll extract the results. That was because customers came to us and said, "Hey, it's really hard to enter a lease in the application. It takes me a long time." So absolutely, like we really appreciate that from the product team, and we hope that the feedback you've given us and that we've heard that and then we've implemented the changes from it.
Oh, yeah. I am more than pleased with the system. I know you guys are also creating new products. One
Yeah.
of them is a contract, and I don't want to misrepresent here, but not only a depository, but also a tool that we can
Yeah.
manage contracts, correct?
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah. And I think
excited to
that,
see that one when he.
yeah, we'd love to show it to you. We can jump on another call later and go through that. James and I had the pleasure of doing a webinar for customers, back late last year to really show that full application. Really, the story here, just add a little bit of color, is that we really want to let the industry kind of lead us to what the value sets here are. We have individuals here that worked in these situations and roles and really help define the requirements. We hope that comes through in what we build so that, Anna, when you and your team log in, you feel like it's kind of purpose built for your team. I'd love for
Right.
you to maybe highlight two things. One is, we know DebtBook University is there. We know the value of it, but love to hear kind of from you what you use that for on a regular basis. You mentioned getting in today. What do you keep going back to DebtBook University for?
Absolutely. So disclaimer, I don't touch that book on a daily basis. So I do need sometimes reminders. Okay, how do I navigate this screen? Or wait, what is it that I'm trying to do? One of the things that, I know you guys also, your platform is not just single standing in the terms that it can also export to tools that we use, like you mentioned, Excel.
Yep.
And so those are the things. So how do I download again? Or wait a minute, am I right in this concept? So if I have a new contract for a subscription and I'm engaging with this company, they require a minimum of 5 years. What does that mean for us here? Okay, so how do I upload this contract again? So those things are good reminders. But I know that DebtBook also, there are other ways that you can find answers. I like to sometimes watch a webinar or one of your guides because it gives me the whole aspect. But if I have just one question, then I know I can also use the chat that is right on the page also. And the chat becomes very interactive and it really helps you. I love how quickly it's answered. But again, I really enjoy the way the knowledge is transferred via the university. So for example, I'm very curious to see what was updated. Oh, is the voice changed? Did the slides change? So I enjoy that because we do change legislation quite a lot in America. And also because we are subject to federal, state, and local laws, this all have an impact.
Yeah, and I think you also touched on you're going to have turnover in your department, just natural. And so when a new individual comes in, you can give them access to the system, but they can then have the support of DebtBook University, right? And that's great. So you don't feel like you need to do all the training yourself. And hopefully, right, we also make the software intuitive enough where that user can jump into it and be able to find the results. And I'd like to touch on one more thing here as we kind of reach the end of our time, which is kind of zooming back out. What are a couple of things you're working on right now? You're in the spring semester here, or it's the winter, but as we go towards spring, what are some initiatives your team are working on that you guys are excited to do here, in this part of the season?
Oh, of course, of course. As soon as we are done with the calendar year closing festivities, at school districts we hit the ground running because this is the time where we are looking at projecting the enrollment for next year, and then very importantly develop the budget for next year. Vista is a rather large district, so we do have a large budget and it requires a lot of hands, a lot of minds thinking. We do go out and get feedback from all our stakeholders that include students, families, the community, our board of trustees. So just this month and through the next month, we are engaged with our board on a series of budget development, board meetings, which are outside of our regular. So that takes a lot of time and effort from the team here at Fiscal and Business Services. But it's fun. We do feel like we give back to the community. We do feel like we're trying to listen to what they would like to see and then, creating a future.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Broad impact here. Thank you, Ana, for the time today. We know you said you had a board meeting tonight, so we're going to let you make that afternoon pot of coffee for your team. Make sure everyone's still happy in the afternoon. But we're very grateful to be kind of a part of your day, a part of your team here. Love the meeting today. Thank you for all of your time.
Thank you. I'm honored to be a part of this. I really like what you provide, your group, and your support, and each of you individually. Thank you for honoring me to be a part of this. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.